Hi there. So Diwali is over, and I hope you all had a wonderful Diwali full of light and less noise. I miss Diwali a lot here, and I also miss the light and the sunlight and sun as such. It's getting very cold here and dark here because of the winter in Frankfurt in Germany, and the days are longer, nights getting shorter and shorter. Yeah, so I am thinking of a few traditions what we used to have during Diwali. So what my father would do is that he would place this fruit called carrot. It's a very very bitter fruit. It's like around so much. It looks like this Indian vegetable called parwal, very similar to that, I think, if I remember correctly, but the outside texture is a bit different. So he would place this carrot and then on the doorstep, the main doorstep, and burst it open with his right foot. And then we all took one seed and ate the seed out of the carrot. And the representation was, because carrot is very very bitter, that you embrace all the difficulties in life, because anything bitter is obviously tough. Just like how we eat this carrot seed, and we all had to eat this one seed, which is like the symbol, like a metaphor. What else? Yeah, and at the doorstep reminds me that we were never allowed to stand at the doorstep. We would always, like for example here also in Germany, when people come, I always say either we come in and we shut the door, or we stay outside the flat, but not like at the doorstep. And that's a very typical Konkani tradition, because we believe that Hiranyakashipu, the demon, in Prahlad's story, was killed at the doorstep, because he asks that nobody can kill me, not an animal, not a human, not inside the house, not outside the house. So all these kinds of things. So because of that, not inside the house and not outside the house, so it happens at the threshold of the house, like threshold, which is the main doorstep. Any case, back to the story, back to traditions. We also had this second tradition where my mother would make, like she would fry a few neem leaves, which are very bitter, in ghee. So you had the ghee, you had the neem leaves, and then at the end she would put a little bit of gur or jaggery, brown sugar, and then we would eat it. So it was like very crispy, which is yummy and sweet, but also very bitter because of that, which would also show that you don't get attached, you don't remain attached to the pleasures and pains of life, but you treat it with detachment. The pleasures, which is the significance of the brown sugar or jaggery, and the pains, which is like the metaphor with the symbol is neem leaves, which is very bitter. Now, in Stoicism, which is the ancient Greek philosophy, they also say very similar thing, that you should not be, sticking to your pleasures and pains, and whatever comes in life, you should stay uninfluenced and take everything, with a smile. So don't get too happy because happiness is coming. Enjoy it, but don't think that it's always going to be like, like a ball. Remember that there'll always be times where you'll go through obstacles, to difficulties, pains, which make you more stronger, more resilient. So this reminds me of a poem called If by Rudyard Kipling. Now, most of you must be knowing that Rudyard Kipling, the guy who also wrote what we as Indians really know and are very fond of, is his book with Mowgli. Of course, it's made a bit different in the movie, but the Jungle Book. So he's the same guy. So Rudyard Kipling, if I remember right, was born in Bombay or Mumbai, and he actually lived in this house, which is today the Foreign Officers building or office, which is just behind St. Xavier's College. So, and he also had something to do with the JJ School of Arts, which is also arts and architecture, which is also very close there in that fort area. The Times of India building is also there. So anyways, coming back to If, everyone will say that If is based on Stoicism, and I think very true. But I also think it's based on our Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita teaches the same, that you don't stay attached to all the pains and pleasures of life, but just treat them without any great, without getting attached to all these things, and remember that these are just phases of life. Even the pleasures, they just come and go. So all your triumphs and disasters should be treated with very with balance, and not get too attached to it. So now coming to the poem, I will recite it to you, and I hope you like it, and please enjoy, and if you like, then like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings, and whisk it one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or talk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So this is like an advice, this poem of a father to a child, to his son. But I think it's good for all of us, whether children or adults, because we forget that, and I have to keep reminding myself, because especially these two sentences, like if you can dream and not make dreams your master, because I tend to do that, and if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, and that's also what I tend to do, and also that, so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. So all of you who are in pain and trouble, hold on, the good times will come, but when the good times come, after a while again the bad times come. So it's like a curve, the wave comes and goes, just like your breath. You inhale and then you exhale, make space for the new inhalation, and that's life. See you again.